Okay, it looks like we're ready to go on Facebook. Let me see here. Let's launch Instagram. Okay, awesome. Okay. We are ready to roll. Okay. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. So I'm doing another live on Facebook and Instagram as well. Hey, Hugo. All right, great. And by the way, I don't know if you're on my email list, but I sent out a link to the last live streams, the last two live streams actually, which have been both recorded and posted on YouTube. Okay, but obviously if you're watching this on Facebook, the previous live, only the second Monday, it was successfully recorded and posted on Facebook as well. Okay, so if you're not on my email list, what's going on, guys? What's up, Joe? All right, if you're not on my email list, just understand today's topic is going to be the key elements of a highly converting website. So I'm going to go into this information, and if you know anything about my background, I am not a web developer, so I'm not going to talk to you about anything technical. What I'm going to talk to you about is basically from a marketing standpoint, what you need to have either on your website or on your marketing funnel, sales page, landing page, whatever the case may be, however it is that you're marketing. Primarily, the information that I like to cover is really for small business owners, local businesses, mom and pop shop, medical offices, legal firms, accounting, electrical, plumbing, you name it. But I'm talking about small business that is roughly doing under 50 million in revenue annually. Okay, so all right, welcome back, guys. Glad to have you on board here. So if you have any questions in regards to the website, if you have your own website, obviously you could ask me a question about it. If you want me to look at it, shoot me a DM or comment if you're on Facebook, and I'll obviously address it. And so a couple of things. Again, I'm not a web developer, so I'm not going to talk to you about anything technical. As a matter of fact, when I hear or consume any type of technical information, my head starts to explode. Okay, and the reason why that is because I'm more, if you understand anything about personality types, I'm more of a result oriented rather than a process oriented. This is why I like to collaborate with people that are smarter than myself and that are very process oriented. Okay, so it becomes a good symbiotic teamwork environment where I understand what needs to happen and we work on a project collectively. All right, so again, I'm not going to talk to you about anything that is detail oriented. So everything I'm going to cover with you today is going to be based on marketing standpoint, what drives consumer behavior, how can you actually generate more leads from your website, and how you can actually convert the visitors to a qualified prospect. Okay, so I'm going to start with the basic foundations, and one of the questions that normally comes up from my clients is that what is it? All right, we're back on. The question that I get is, what is the difference between a website and a sales page or a marketing funnel? I'm not going to go into the details about a sales page or a funnel or marketing standalone page. A sales page, right? I mean, if you notice, I have these books here for a reason. I actually just recently started going through them. I have been marketing online since 2010 to be exact, but I'm not going to cover this, again, the funnels and the sales pages today. What I'm going to cover with you are the basics, what you need to have on your website, with the idea in mind that you actually have a business or looking to start a business and want to get a website as well. But simply put, to answer that question, the difference between a website and a single page marketing funnel is basically a single page marketing funnel is a one way. Think of it like a tunnel. There's only one way a person can get out of it, right? Well, actually two ways. They can either exit out, like go back, or just come out on the other end. So a marketing funnel is basically when a person visits your page, right, a single page, they are presented with some information. Most of the time it's either in exchange for their data, for your piece of content, knowledge, video, downloadable file, whatever it is, right? So they're exchanging their information for what you're offering them. Or it's a sales page. Basically, they're looking at it and it's either for them or not. If it's a restaurant, maybe you're targeting a local market and you want to offer them something so they could come into your place, right? So you offer them a 20% discount if they give you their email address, right? So that could become a landing page. If they don't like that offer, they always have a chance to exit out, go backwards. So again, think of it as a tunnel, right? The funnel is a tunnel, and they're either going through it or going back. The website, however, it's an information portal about who you are and about your business, whether you're in real estate, whether you're in finance, whether you're in accounting, whether you're in medical field. Like I have clients, actually most of my clients are in medical field. And as an example, obviously all these businesses have their own website. But when we drive traffic and we're advertising on Facebook for them, we would prefer and advise our clients to have a standalone page that offers a piece of content in exchange for the prospect contact information, and obviously that gets populated into an email autoresponder. And then you're collecting the list of email subscriptions of people that willingly gave you their contact information. Now you have the legal, moral, and ethical way to actually contact them every day, multiple times a day, once a week, once a month. You choose the frequency. Okay? So going back, the website is a portal of information. Now, however, here's another thing to consider before moving forward of redesigning or actually building a website or doing whatever you want to it, right? Whatever you need to it. You need to first figure out for yourself, how do you want that website to perform for you? Like, what is the purpose of that website? Because generally speaking, there are two types of websites a business would have. Number one is basically, I call it a little old school title for it, but I'll give you another name for it, a business card website, okay? Or it's an information portal. That's it. It's a digital portfolio, so to speak, of who you are and what you offer. Now, the reason why it was actually called a business card website is because a business would have their business cards, and they would have a website on it. For what purposes? Basically for a prospect to go back wherever, from the office, from home, to look at the information and learn more about the company, individual services, products, whatever. It wasn't interactive and it wasn't value driven. Meaning, look at it as a radio, okay? If you still listen to radio or you listen to podcasts, it's not a two-way communication channel. It's a single-way communication channel. So you're putting out content, you're informing your prospect of who you are, but you're not allowing them to interact with you. Now, as you could imagine, that becomes a little boring. That's why people prefer the interaction on social media rather than listening to a radio or podcast, although podcast is replacing the radio, but that's for a completely different reason, simply because they have control of what they consume, right? That's really the reason, and it's much easier and it's available on the phone. Now, the reason why people prefer to communicate with businesses and service providers on social media, because it provides a two-way communication. The reason why people go on Google and leave a review for a business is because they're empowered with a voice to leave a review for the business. The difference between a business card website and information and value-driven website is that I explained to you the first process, right? The first way. The second one is where your website is almost like a blog. you're providing content and educating your visitor about who you are, but you're also sifting through the tire kicker and a serious prospect for your business. How do you do that? By providing enough information. If you're a restaurant, you're educating your prospects about types of food. If you are a real estate attorney, or for any attorney, you're educating your visitor about not just the type of law that you practice, but what the prospect could actually be going through. If you're a personal injury attorney, you could be educating them about, slip and fall, this and that, right? Like things that they should know if so and so happens. If you're a finance individual, then you educate people on finances and money, how to budget, how to do their P&L statements, right? How to properly read their P&L statements. If you're a tax professional, then you educate your prospect and visitor about taxation, things like that, how they can legally, morally, and ethically save money on taxes. The list goes on and on and on. You pick a field. If you're a videographer, a photographer, it doesn't matter. If you're an editor, if you're a graphic designer, there's always some value to add. Like, I was just recently looking for a piece of equipment for photography and videography, and I obviously, where did I go? First I went on Google, and then the second place I went to is YouTube to learn more about the product. Now, what I found best is a review of a device by a professional photographer, okay, who's done crazy jobs all over the world, not just the country. And do you think I'll find value in his review on a product? Even though he's an affiliate of something, it doesn't matter. But that tells me that whatever business he's in, he's actually using and practicing whatever he's recommending, right? So it's information driven. You need to understand what your website should do and then go with that. If you just want a plain, simple website, like a business card website for validation purposes, don't expect much for it. On the other hand, I look at a website, it's my silent business partner. It's a business partner that doesn't sleep. It's a business partner that doesn't call in sick. It doesn't take any personal days off unless you didn't pay for your hosting. Then your website is down, obviously. Okay. It doesn't ask for any emergency days off. There is no HR issues. There's like nothing going on. It's a silent business partner that works 24/7, 365 days a year, even when I'm not around, no matter for how long. That's the way I treat my site. As a matter of fact, my highest paying client earlier this year came from visiting our new website. That's not even fully complete, which is I'll promote it here, but it's uidigitalmarketing.com. The reason why I say it's second, because it's sort of like a subdivision of what I do as a consultant with my clients. So that website handles only digital services. And the reason why that website converted that prospect to a client is because it had enough information. It's precise. There are a couple of videos, and on the video I actually tell the audience who we do business with and who we don't do business with. On that video, it automatically sifts through unqualified prospects, but also through prospects that we do not want to take on. So basically, I'm in a position where we get to choose who we work with, because we don't work with most industries. We work with very few selected industries. As a matter of fact, I'll be coming out with an official announcement in the month of July as far as who we're only going to work with, and that is it as a company. So going back, figure out as far as what your website will do, and let me see here. Now, if you're going with a website that's going to be your silent business partner, it's not, it's going to generate leads for you if that's what you want, you have to make sure that you actually put something on a website that will generate new clients, new leads at least, right? Again, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you have to give something away as a free value add in exchange for their contact information. Now, I'll give you another example. Normally, medical clients, what they do is, again, if you're a dentist, if you're a chiropractor, if you are, physical therapist, if you're a gastroenterologist, if you're a cardiologist, pain management doctor, it doesn't matter. Same thing for lawyers, accountants, it doesn't matter. Generally speaking, the way these businesses generate leads is that they have a form saying if you'd like to request an appointment, fill out this form. Now that would be a very highly targeted prospect, which basically is ready to do business with you, ready in asking for an appointment or ready to come into your restaurant. What if that person is not ready, but they still want to hear from you, right? Can you get more contact information like that? Of course you can. And the way you do that is actually you offer them something of educational based value. If you're a service provider, if you are in retail, or if you're a restaurant, a coffee shop, whatever, then you have to offer them something where they will benefit in the next week or in the next 30 days. You can't be like, hey, listen, here's something that you could use for the next year or for the next 6 months. Then in the back of the mind, psychologically speaking, the person understands that I have time, I'll come back to this website, submit my email address, and receive this discount later. What happens? You and I both know, because we go through the same process as consumers. Chances are we forget, we don't go back. Life happens, life gets in the way. But if you have a prospect right then and there visiting your site, you want to make sure that this is something they could take advantage of right away. So you offer them some kind of a discount code, a coupon code, or whatever it is. The point is you want to capture that lead as soon as possible, because they're going to forget, you forget, I forget, everybody forgets if it's not something that's urgent. If you're a service provider, give something away that will teach them. So if you're in finance, if you're in legal field, if you're medical, electrical, if you're a contractor, right? If you are a roofer, you could educate your prospect on something that you know but they don't. So for example, if I am a dentist and I want to generate a lead in my vicinity, for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put something together, something legitimate, like let's say, and I call it 3 steps that you will never hear from another dentist on the things you can do to prevent cavities. For example, submit your email and download this free PDF. Very simple. I got their contact information. I gave away a valuable piece of information. If you are a mortgage broker, right? If you're a banker, if you are a lawyer, whatever the case may be. So for example, let's say if you're a banker or mortgage broker, you could give away a piece of information that will help your prospects qualify easier for a loan to buy a house, right? It's an educational piece in exchange for their email. So there are a lot of ways you can do this, and especially if you're in a service industry, it's the easiest way to get it done. And the point is to generate these leads so you can actually later either connect with them through email, or if there's a phone in there, you could pick up the phone and connect with your prospect and ask him qualifying questions, and just take it from there. That's already the sales process. Okay, so first things first, on your site, what I'm going to talk to you about right now is basically from the websites that my team has built for our clients, but also by looking at the most highly converting websites in the niches, in the fields that we work in, like even the jobs that are not ours, but we can track and measure of how those websites are performing, right? Because there are tools for that, like SEO, SEMrush. You could do a lot of. I like to use SEMrush. There are a couple other platforms out there. Again, I'm not a geek about this. All I can tell you is what works for us and what I'm aware of. So first things first, on your website, you want to have obviously the banner, right? But you want to have your phone number and your address if you're a physical location right on top. Now, here's where one of the mistakes that business owners make. They don't understand this, so they don't know what to ask for from the developers. And where they make a mistake is they have the phone number and or address on top in a graphical image uploaded, like right next to the banner. Now, here's the reason why it's not good for the website, because that goes against the SEO. SEO likes text, so make sure that that information on top is with text based. So when you do hire developers, make sure you tell them that you want your phone number and address on top, right, in text, not in an image. Second one is the banner. Now, before I talk about the banner or the image on top of the site, is there's a thing called fold below the fold, above the fold, right? Above the fold and below the fold. The fold means before a visitor needs to scroll down. What do they see as soon as they land on a website? Because if they have to scroll down for vital information, you don't want it on there. So you want to put the most important, the most captivating and attention-grabbing information before they need to scroll down. The rest, they could scroll down and review there. So information about the company, they could scroll down. To get reviews and look at social proof of what other clients have to say, they could scroll down for that. Who you are as a company, like your slogan and things like that, you definitely want to have it above the fold on the banner. I personally like, because of their performance, websites that have a carousel. Right, so basically it's one sliding banner with this information, another sliding banner, and it's, again, right above the fold before they have to scroll down with more information. If you are in an industry where you're providing Zoom type of teleconferencing type of service, whether you're in medical, whether you're in financial, whether you're a coach, whether you're a trainer, you want to have it on top as well. Okay, now, as the initial image, when a visitor lands on your site, it's extremely important that you have, whether it's a stock photo or your photo or a group photo of your team, your employees, right? Whatever it is, you want to make sure that whoever it is that on the image, again, it could be a stock image, you want to make sure there's eye contact between the visitor and the face on the image, because it is the human factor, it's the human element. We don't notice it, we don't pay attention to it, but we connect much better when people are looking at us. Even if it's a picture, there's a connection, it's a psychological trigger that will make the person stay on there longer, right? Another factor, as the carousel slides, you want to add something about the business or service, and you want to have a button right on top of it. You want to make sure it's clickable. When they click it, then it takes them to the page where it's whether it's services, about us, core values, whatever the case. Now, moving forward, right below that banner, it really is up to you. Don't let anyone tell you that there is a certain template or certain parameters you need to follow of what has to go second, third, fourth. The main thing you need to be focused on is what's on top before the person needs to scroll. Because everything after that, it could be social proof. You could put a link on there, or take screenshots of whatever is on your Google listing, Facebook, Yelp, whatever the case. It could be your services. It could be your core values. Now, you need to have core values and what the company stands for, what you believe in, even if it's not a company, it's yourself. So you're a solopreneur. You want to make sure that it's stated on the website. And it's clear, it's concise, and it's to the point. Because you want to make sure that that message about you communicates directly to the individual that will potentially do business with you. Because if you care about your services and your business, it is, I cannot say this enough times, it is vital for you to start doing business that believe in your core values, your mission, and your vision. Because if it's just a product and service and you're competing on price, then you will be in a business that's sort of like a conveyor belt operation. And if that's okay with you, great, more power to you. You'll probably make a lot of money that way, but short term, okay? Or even if it's, I don't want to call it long term, but even if it's more than a year or two, it's just going to be a lot of new clients. That's all. Because you can't expect for clients to be your brand ambassadors if they don't believe in what you're doing, if they don't stand behind. Like, my goal is, the reason why I'm on social media and I do, paid marketing, things like that, it is really not to get a client, it is to get a referral. When you start thinking like that, your perception of business changes. My goal is to bring the satisfaction and over deliver to my client so I can actually get at least 1 or 2 referrals from them. That really is my goal. For most businesses and consultants, like whatever you name an industry, for most people, it's to generate a lead and make a sale. That's it. So you can choose how you do business. I'm not in a position to tell you how you should do your business, but these are just a couple of things for you to keep in mind. It's like, how do you want to run a business? You want a long term or you want a short term, make a lot of money and get out? Maybe, right? You could be short term and not make a lot of money and get out anyway. So it really is up to you. Key elements that you need to have, absolutely must have on your website, above and beyond what I told you, outside of the order. You need to have social proof. So you want to have reviews. Reviews will make or break your business. You need to have your address and phone number at the bottom of the website as well, because we covered what's supposed to be on top, but you want to have it at the bottom in the footer of the website as well. You want to have pictures or a picture of the business operator. If, again, we're talking about small businesses or individual service providers, because you want the consumer to connect with the leadership, with whoever is in charge of the entity that they're looking at. And every time I run into a situation, it happens a lot, okay, with my prospects before they become a client, most of my clients do not like to have their face on the business. Whether it's a medical practice, whether it's an attorney or whatever, okay? They don't like to. And I don't blame them because they have never done it. Change is hard. But I'm not patting myself on the back. You know, it's like I don't do that. But the process solidifies and confirms everything I've been telling them since day one. Like eventually they come to a point of realization that they need to have their face on the website. They need to have their face on their social media. They need to have their face on videos. If it's not them, then it's their team. There's got to be a personal connection. Again, we're talking about a small business doing under 50 million, roughly speaking, in revenue annually. We're talking about larger business. Obviously, like you'll find a very generic and sterile, like you don't see Jeff Bezos' face on Amazon.com. It's not necessary, right? You don't see, whatever top CEO face on Disney website. Maybe if you go to About Us and you're going to read the story as far as how it was founded, things like that, you're going to see the story of the Walt Disney and the legacy and through his kids, how the parks were finished and everything like that. But at the end of the day, there's got to be some sort of a story of how you got started, how the business got started. And if it's a small business, if you're a local mom and pop shop, restaurant, coffee shop, electrical engineer, plumbing, doctor, dentist, doesn't matter, speech therapist, hairdresser, nail, it doesn't matter. You want to have your personal presence on there because you will connect with people much, much better. Okay. Any questions? I'll take a break here and let's see if we have any questions. Hey, what's up, guys? Okay. No questions. If you guys want me to, if you want my team to take a look at your site, just send me a message or comment on the video. And I'll get my assistant to take a look at your site. And if you want to provide an email address or something like that, they'll send you their feedback as well. Okay, cool. That's awesome. You guys have no questions, which is great. That tells me okay. I run the same business. Cool. Guys, I will catch you next Monday on another live stream. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Take care, guys.